My next guest got a glimpse of that harsh and lonely life firsthand. He spent a year riding more than 2,000 miles in a big rig to try to uncover more about the elusive long-haul trucker serial killings. Joining us now is Frank Figliuzzi. He is a former FBI Assistant Director for Counterintelligence who spent 25 years as an FBI special agent. He is the best-selling author of Long Haul, Hunting the Highway Serial Killers. Frank, great to have you on the show. I am still reeling from that statistic. 850 murders believed committed by long-haul drivers? Many, like, not just one, but several serial killers?
Indeed, the numbers are staggering, Elizabeth, and thanks for helping bring attention to this issue. 850 murders over the last few decades of women alongside our nation's highways that the FBI is confident are the work of serial killers. In fact, there are already 25 long-haul truckers who are in prison for multiple homicides. Yet, there are 200 of those killings that are considered unsolved and active, and 450 suspects being looked at right now in those unsolved cases.
450 suspects?
It's an unwieldy number. And so in my book, I tried to narrow that suspect pool down by getting deep into three subcultures: long-haul truckers, sex trafficking victims, and crime analysis. So if you're into learning how a serial crime scene is worked, or what is going on in that long-haul truck alongside you in the highway, or how young women fall into the trap of trafficking, then this book is for you.
This is the book for you.
I do theorize in the book about which trucker with which kind of truck is more likely to kill, and similarly, which trafficking victim is more likely to fall prey to a trucker.
I was amazed that you spent so much time yourself in one of these trucks. You write, long-haul truckers exist days or weeks at a time in a world of their own. They speak their own language. They eat at their own establishments, sleep in their own rigs. Part cowboy, part fighter pilot, part hermit. They glide along the edge of our society.
It's a subculture, and I wanted to get a flavor of it, so I did ride over 2,000 miles in a flatbed long-haul truck. I slept in that top bunk in the sleeper berth. I'm here to tell you it's not the Ritz-Carlton luxury in there. In fact, medical studies do show time after time that it's an unhealthy lifestyle, very sedentary, very isolating. And the dark side is that studies, anonymous surveys of truckers show that 10% drink alcohol daily, 20% binge drink 5 or more drinks regularly, and 44% of long-haul truckers experience symptoms of major clinical depression.
Does this world draw serial killers, Frank, or does it somehow create them?
I ask that nature or nurture question in the book, and the answer, of course, is complex. The answer is both. There are people who already have a predilection toward violence, particularly toward women, may have had traumatic childhoods, and they seek out that isolating hermit-like existence in some kinds of long-haul trucking. And then some of these killers, when interviewed, say it dawns on them that they now have the license to kill because the freedom is there to exploit those law enforcement jurisdictions like you described in the opener.
All right, Frank, before I let you go, I did want to ask you about Attorney General Merrick Garland's appearance on Capitol Hill yesterday, vowing not to be intimidated by what he calls Republican attacks on the criminal justice system, on both the Department of Justice, on the FBI. You spent 25 years serving our nation in the FBI. These attacks have really concerned you as well. Merrick Garland calls them not only unprecedented, but dangerous.
They are dangerous because they involve disinformation that has a track record of inciting people, often some mentally unstable people, toward violence. We've seen it over and over again, whether it's the individual in Cincinnati who tried to breach the FBI field office security, whether it's the man in Provo, Utah, who swung a weapon at FBI agents who were trying to arrest him. People do get instigated to violence, and focusing that violence on the FBI, focusing on conspiracy theories, for example, that the FBI was trying to assassinate a former president during a search warrant, is not only nonsense, but highly dangerous.
Yeah, that language in the search warrant appears in every single search warrant executed by the FBI, including the one executed on President Biden's home in Delaware. So, all right, Frank Figliuzzi. The book is Long Haul. It's a great read, disturbing read, I must tell you, but very, very interesting about, I think, a lot of serial killings that nobody knew was happening along our roadways and highways throughout the country. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.